There are a lot of good deputies out there, but they have such a hard time because you have a lot of deputies that are racist, that treat people bad. I've seen it. I might not have spoken out about it online, but I've spoken out to the superiors. I've said something. Evidently, that's not enough. Let me give you all an example. A few months ago, those of you all know that if you live in Fort Worth, or you know they had the cheerleaders everywhere. They had cheerleaders everywhere in Fort Worth. I guess they had their national competition or whatnot. They're everywhere. Little black girls, little white girls, little Indian girls, little all races, all ages. 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds in cheerleader outfits. A few little girls came to the front of the city hall steps, well, the municipal court steps, to take a picture in front of the statue globe, the big yellow globe. Yeah, you saw a lot of black girls there and white girls there and whatnot, but what did this deputy do? Deputy Jim Scroggins got on the radio and called for additional units. Do you know why this officer called additional units? Because he said those little 9 and 10-year-old girls are protesters. You see that there's little 9, 10 years old. Everybody's in a cheerleading outfit and you call them protesters. You do not need to be in law enforcement. Little girls in cheerleading outfits and you call them protesters. Here's another good one for you. And this happened just recently, not long ago, and something was said about it, but it was swept up under the rug. Of course, walking into certain different buildings across your city, a lot of people have metal detectors, and a lot of people take your temperature so it can read your temperature to see how hot you are, make sure that you're not sick. And Deputy Scroggins worked that area. He worked at a metal detector. And when people walked in, he told the director that I see what the problem is with this metal detector. This is reported to me, and people have complained about it. The reason why it's not reading that right, not reading accurately, is because I just realized that the darker your skin is, the more difficult it is for it to read. The director, Mr. Rumley, you know about it. Marshal Philip Swift, yes, you know about it too. Chief Timothy Carey, you do know about it, sir. And when I was getting ready to tell you in the office about what went on and what transpired and what was told to me and what was complained on, you didn't want to hear it, so you went and called Human Resources and say, oh, yeah, well, the Human Resources, yeah, we know about it. Yeah, well, we'll be talking with somebody in a minute about it. But even by him saying the darker your skin is, the more difficult it is for the temperature check to read, nothing was done about it. People were offended. And those people talk to me. They have a voice too, but it's not heard. Swept up under the rug. So yes, I want you to see how far back this goes. Sergeant James Wade, you too. Trying to wave your badge over other deputies' heads to get them to do what you want them to do. Yeah, I'll whistle on it, and you can have your rebuttal on it. Here's a good example. When I wasn't on the street, I wasn't doing warrants, I wasn't doing anything. I was working City Hall in Fort Worth, and I was told by one of my sergeants to go ahead and relieve another officer. Make sure you're checking on this officer. Basically, he's up in the city manager's office. Make sure you're checking on him, make sure he's okay, because he's up there by himself with her. And I did that. By the end of the shift, we all left. And you called me on my cell phone and told me to return back to City Hall. Because apparently there was a meeting going on and the deputies were supposed to stay. But what you failed to do is communicate with those deputies. You say, well, you're supposed to walk around, you're supposed to do this, and you were supposed to check or whatnot. We don't know what meeting is going on. You didn't send us a text, you didn't send us an email, you didn't do anything. So in order for you to look good, Sergeant, what did you do? You wanted these deputies to go ahead, well, mainly me, email you a statement saying, hey, and just admit to we just walked off course and just left everything like it was. Yeah, y'all just, I want you to write a statement just saying that you just walked out and admit to it, and then just send it to me and we'll do it that way. Why would I want to sign my name to something that you didn't authorize me to do, that you didn't communicate to? Why should deputies have to go ahead and you want people to just put anything on paper saying, yeah, we did that, just to make you look good? I'm not that type of deputy. I'm sorry. I don't just do what everybody, I don't do things that are not right. I'm not just getting ready to write anything and sign off on it just to make you look good, Sergeant. I have morals. But what did you tell me? You told Deputy Woodard, well, if you don't do this for me, then I'll just write you up. I said, are you threatening to write me up because I won't do something that is not supposed to be done? I have more integrity. And a lot of people who follow me know I stand for right. And Marshall Swift, when it came back to you, you didn't even investigate it, right, man? I talked to some of those deputies, and they have the opposite thing of what you said. So what did you want to do? You said, well, we're just going to go ahead and suspend Woodard. Suspend him for a day. And I said, are you sure you want to do that? I don't do anything wrong. What is going on? And you did. You did. Because whatever certain people say, you go along with it, even though you've never been a peace officer before. You've never been a peace officer before. You worked in the jail. You have supervisors dangling things over people's head, and you're threatening to write them up if they don't go ahead and do what you say. That's, you're not supposed to do things like that. You're supposed to go ahead and do things that are right. If I were to go and tell Joe Blow, hey, cover for me right quick, man. Hey, just sign to say that you was there, do this, and then just leave it at that. You think that I'm just going to do that for Joe Blow? No. Not at all. So James Wade, you took it upon yourself, you and Scroggins, and said, oh, the case is assigned to James Wade to investigate the everyday life of Deputy Brian Woodard and what I'm putting on my page, which there's nothing negative that's put it on my page. Everything is positive. I don't post twerk videos. I don't post people being shot up. I don't post, negative and racial. So I don't post things like that. But you're making it hard for me to bring positivity in this world when it's cops like you that are so negative. You asked me what was my page about, and you know what my page is about. Before I even came to Fort Worth, when I came there, you said, oh yeah, well, you can help bring the community together. Yeah, I did that. Well, you can help do this and teach the schools. Yeah, I did that. But I guess the focus wasn't on you. So James Scroggins, the one who wants to kill Goat Evers, said that I shouldn't have a supporter group. People shouldn't support Brian Woodard. I don't know why that is. And James Wade, when you asked me, well, when the supporters go ahead and they pay to support you, where is that money going? I said, number one, it goes to my network because I own this network. And number two, I feed the homeless every morning because that's what I do. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be not only protecting, but serving people too. And when I told you about me feeding the homeless, you said, well, don't you think or don't you feel that you should just give the money back? In other words, they don't need to eat. Yes, they do. Ask me if you remember that. Yeah, go ahead. And I know that there's going to be some words said about it, but you asked me, don't you think that, they should get the money back? Well, you don't want me to feed people? You don't want my network to do positive work in the community? But yet you got a deputy, one of your friends, one of your besties, wanting to kill people of Muslim descent. So I got fed up, guys. I choose the community over working for that department. And I only said one thing. I said, God, get me out of here. And he did it. And not only did he get me out, he elevated me. to a department that does care about their community. And don't let me talk about Sergeant Brunswick, because you all tried to keep that up under the rug too. I talked to Sergeant Brunswick. I spoke with her on the phone. She went through a lot with you all. That was a good sergeant. Black female. There's only one other black person that's in the office right now that is a sergeant, but a black female. And she went through so much stuff with you all that she couldn't take it. But the stick that broke the camel's back is when another deputy called her a monkey. And I hope everybody hears this on Facebook. Called her a monkey. Not only did Sergeant Brunswick complain about it, not only did she complain about it, guys, she wrote a formal complaint. Fort Worth Marshal's Office. What happened to that complaint? They didn't mean it. Sweep it up under the rug. But what did Sergeant Brunswick do? That hurt her so bad, and she was a good sergeant. She was an excellent sergeant. Wonderful sergeant. Got along with everyone, and you treated her like that. You marked that complaint as unfound. Sweep it up under the rug. So you can go and call a supervisor because she's African American. You called her a monkey. But it hurt her so bad that she didn't even get that complaint because you swept it under the rug. What did she do? She resigned, guys. Sergeant Nicole Brunswick is no longer with the Fort Worth Marshal's Office. She resigned. And if you know Sergeant Brunswick, call her. She will tell you herself. Yes, I spoke with her. So there is no, Sergeant Brunswick. No. For those of you that know Sergeant Nicole Brunswick, call her. She will tell you. She will tell you what they did to her. But I hung on and I hung in there. But it was not the department for me. There are so many people who talk about racism within Fort Worth, Texas. And I know it happens a lot of places. And I want to make this clear. It's not just about, hey, it was white on black racism. No, it's about every color. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're Hispanic, Asian, whatever. If you're doing wrong, you deserve to be called out for what you are and what you stand for. And you don't need to be wearing a badge. There are a lot of good deputies out there, but they have such